So y'all, I'm here. I just want to come really fast. I just watched the last episode of Real Housewives of Potomac, and there's just a few things I want to address. Number one, I want to start off by saying that Charisse, Karen does not have to be your friend. And I'm sorry, but I agree with Karen and everybody else when they say that you're doing your damnness to be back on this show. I really do believe that. I believe that your in way is Giselle and Robin, and they are obviously caping hard as fuck for you to be back on this show. I think that that is very evident and very obvious. Number two, I would like to say, wait, I think I just said it the first time. Karen does not have to be your friend, Charisse. She does not. I get the whole situation and you created the show and blah, 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 but she does not have to be your friend if she does not want to. Okay? I also would like to say, Karen very much so deflects all the time. She does, because that whole scene, like not this scene but the time, last episode when Charisse was talking about, well, like my father died and like you just sent me a text and like your mom died and I came, and she's like, don't talk about my mother, don't talk about my mother. And when they brought it back up again at the table, she kept saying, stop talking about my mom. Nobody's talking about your mother, Karen. And I understand it's a situation that, like, in general, you don't want to talk about you and Charisse, but I would prefer for you to just keep saying, I don't want to talk about me and Charisse, I don't want to talk about me and Charisse, versus saying you're talking about my mother, because nobody is talking about your mother. And to be fair, you are absolutely deflecting. And as much as I like Karen, Karen is the queen of deflecting. She doesn't really like to answer a whole lot of things. I think Karen, at this point in Potomac, she likes to play the quote unquote neutral party. Like, even though it doesn't always work out like that, but she tries to play the neutral party. So when stuff comes up about Karen, it's normally shut down, not addressed, none of that stuff. Because if we really want to talk about it, everybody's relationship or husband or something like that has been questioned to a degree except Karen. Now, Karen did have that season where, her and Ray was, going through whatever, and Ray was honest about not, being in love with her and stuff like that. But I do feel like when it comes to rumors and stuff, Karen never really has to answer for anything else, but I feel like everybody else does, if that makes sense. What else do I have to say? Oh, and I want to address the Queen of Potomac thing, right? I think the person who explained this the best was Erica De Niro, and she said this like weeks ago. She said weeks ago that if you really want to talk about it, Charisse is the queen of Potomac. She is the quote unquote, like Robin said, socialite of Potomac. Now, I know a lot of people was like, how the fuck is she the queen? How's the queen? I think everyone else, you guys are looking at it in terms of the show. You guys are saying, how the hell is Charisse the queen of Potomac? And I think you guys are looking at it in terms of the show versus actually living in Potomac. If you actually think about it, Charisse has been an unofficial unofficial castmate for at least the past 3 to 4 seasons. Because if we go all the way back to the season with, where Monique and Candace, which was 3 seasons ago at this point, that happened. Remember, the point of contention was that Candace bought Charisse to her party, and Charisse and Monique had a falling out over something. So to be quite honest, when Robin and Giselle talks about Charisse being the queen of Potomac and her being the legit socialite of Potomac, like, let's go back to season 1. Season 1, Karen definitely upheld herself. Like, y'all gotta remember, season 1 and 2 Karen is nowhere near the season that we're on now, Karen. Those are two completely different people. Season 1 Karen would call season 7 Karen like an abomination. Absolutely. So when Karen originally came on the show, she definitely posed and presented herself as like she called herself the grande dame, and like, I have all of this etiquette, and like my husband is a black Bill Gates, and like, I have all of these people in Potomac, like, I'm the girl of Potomac. But in all reality, it really was Charisse. And again, the reason why I say that, and I think everybody else says that, is because Charisse is friends with everybody. Even when she wasn't on the show, she was friends with Monique. And even like every event, for the most part, that all of the girls did, Charisse was invited. Even when she wasn't on the show, she was invited. Let's go back to the season with Candace and Monique. Remember, Candace said during the reunion that she was confused about Monique being upset about her having Charisse at her party when Charisse was also at Ashley's baby shower. So in all reality, although right now we don't get much of Charisse, I don't really see anything wrong with her being on the show because for real, she's a part of the show without being a part of the show. Does that make sense? Like she's literally friends with every single person at that table. Even when she wasn't on the show, she was still at all of the events. She was still at people parties. Even if you look at like parties from Potomac in the past, you would see Charisse in the background. So as much as that might irk people, I do kind of agree with the sentiment. Oh, maybe you ain't got to give her the title, but I do agree with the sentiment that if you want to talk about who's the quote unquote real socialite of Potomac, it would be Charisse. That's just facts. It would. Now, she might not be the most interesting to the fans and stuff, and maybe within the context of the show, people might look at Karen as the queen. But if we're talking about actually living in Potomac, it would be her. Now, Charisse talks about how, she pretty much was the one who like brought the group together, which makes sense because again, she's friends with everyone. Now she said she didn't know Karen all like that, but she still thought that it would be cool to bring Karen into the fold. Now what I don't agree with Charisse is like, and it's similar to like the Mariah thing and similar to the Nene thing, like just because you helped quote unquote start it, that doesn't mean that like at any point in time like you're not above like you're above getting criticized or you're above being knocked down. Just because you was the centerpiece of everything, that doesn't mean that you're going to automatically be the favorite. No, it really does not. At this point in time, the favorite on the show, to be quite honest, is Karen. But I think that's because Karen played a similar role. And honestly, now when Robin and Giselle said this, I don't agree with them bitches on nothing, but I do think to a degree the main problem with Charisse and Karen is that Karen now holds the spot that Charisse did at one point in time. Does that make sense? Because remember, at one point in time, Charisse was the glue. She was the center. Everybody was friends with Charisse. And when Charisse actually got off the show, you don't have anybody who's that quote unquote glue or the centerpiece of everybody. Karen, for the most part, except for Robin, for the most part, has been the person that's been in the middle. She's older than everybody else. She gets a little, she's a little bit barely more mature than everybody. She's a little bit more mature than everybody. So I think when Charisse left the show, Karen became that quote unquote middle person, like, neutral party pretty much, because everybody was friends with Karen, except maybe like Robin or something like that. But everybody else, even with Karen and Giselle going back and forth and not always seeing eye to eye, Karen was still always in the midst because Giselle would still come and they still friends. You get what I'm saying? So I think a lot of it is that. So do I agree to a degree that when it comes to like the actual who's the true socialite out of everybody sitting at that table as far as Potomac is concerned, I do agree that it's Charisse. I do. But I do think that when it comes to this show, Karen is the person kind of like in the middle. She's who Charisse kind of wants to be to me within the context of the show, within the context of the damn show. I do also want to say though, Robin, as far as your wedding is concerned, girl, just stop talking about it. We don't care. At this point, just get off the show. Just get off the show because you're just lying and we're actually tired of it. We're tired of the fake ass wedding with all of them alleged charges that's going on with Juan. I heard y'all might not be back next season. That's fine. Y'all are boring. Bye. Boom. But Robin and Giselle, for y'all, although some of the facts that y'all was making, the points that y'all was making was very valid when it came to Karen at that table, I thank God. I thank God for Candace. Because Candace said exactly what me and everybody else is probably thinking, which is, it's crazy that y'all are talking about Karen being mean to Charisse and she needs to apologize, but none of you bitches said that Mia had to apologize to Wendy. Thank you so much, Candace, for pointing that out. And she did, and all of the girls got quiet. So I want to address that at the reunion. Yes, Giselle and Robin, mostly Robin, you made valid points when it came to Karen, but where's that same energy for Mia? Because when the whole situation happened with Wendy, it's, oh no, like we need to you shouldn't have ran your mouth like that. Let's go make sure that Mia is okay. But we know why y'all are protecting Charisse. Y'all protecting Charisse because if y'all get Charisse back on the show, that's one more person that y'all can add to y'all little minion factory. That's somebody else that y'all can have on y'all side. And another reason, because I really feel like Giselle wants to take Karen down, in my own opinion, off the show. So she's just somebody to recruit into y'all army. We see through it. We see each other. But I will say this. This shit has been going on for a couple of seasons now. Karen and Robin. It has always been something that's been in the background. If you've ever paid attention the last couple of seasons, they always tend to get into it like randomly and nobody truly knows why. I just always known that Karen and Robin don't like each other. I'm glad that that's now being put to the forefront so we can stop playing bullshit. Y'all don't like each other. Don't really care why, but y'all don't. But all I have to say, Karen does not want to be friends with Charisse for whatever cotton picking reason that is. I would let it the hell go. I would let it the hell go at this point. And Robin and Karen and Robin and Giselle, y'all trying to pile on top of it to try to force Karen to say some shit that she don't want to say. Not necessary. She says she don't fuck with the girl. It really needs to be left at that. And especially if y'all not gonna keep the same energy with me, y'all might as well just keep it. Y'all might as well just keep it. Keep it, girl. Keep it, keep it, keep it, keep it, keep it, keep it, keep it. But that's it. That's all I really wanted to come to say. Cause I know that whole line about her being the queen. Y'all talking about the show. They talking about in real life. And that's what I got. But y'all see what y'all think. I'm bye.